Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. So it's a pretty bizarre time right now, and if you're anything like me, you're getting a bit bored of not being able to go out and take photos like normal. So here's 3 things to do with photography that you can keep yourself busy with while staying inside. So number 1 is self-portraits. Now, this is probably the most kind of arty project you can occupy yourself with, but taking a self-portrait of yourself once a day, every day, could actually be quite fun. And it's only when you come to the end of something and you look back at the massive images that it becomes something much greater. And I'm sure there's so many people doing this. It's not going to be an original idea, and it is pretty cliche. But there's something even just to learn from in the act of taking self-portraits. It's a good skill to develop. And you can actually take what you learn and apply that to taking normal portraits. You still have to think about lighting and composition, and there's a really nice, slow and methodical process to doing it, setting up the self-timer, composing on the tripod, running around and putting yourself into the frame. I think it's actually a fun process. One of the things that I really like to do is to hang up a white bed sheet. This could be inside, this could be in the garden. You can hang it up on stands or just tape it to something, and it transforms any normal household space into a makeshift studio. And then you really don't need to go anywhere to make some really nice photos. And that leads us perfectly on to number 2, which is taking some still lives. And now this is something which I can definitely get better at myself, and it's something which I'm trying to during this process. But using that bedsheet DIY studio, why not put some interesting objects in front of it and start making some still lives? Now this could be some objects from your household which have some significant meaning to you. It could be some objects you found on your one piece of allotted exercise. Or you could try and recreate some famous still lives like some paintings. I found it a pretty fun thing just to break up my routine. Even if it's not the kind of photography that I'm super interested in, it's just nice to do something, and I'm sure you can take something from it and then implement that to the rest of your practice. And it's always just nice to think in new ways. Okay, so the third thing isn't actually practically taking photos, but there's probably never been a better time to go back into your archive and sort everything out. Now's a better time than ever to do a deep dive into that hard drive and clean up your file organizing system. I bet a bunch of you watching this have your desktop covered with items. Why not change that right now? There's literally never been a better time. But also, I think it's a great time to look through your old work, and I think you can learn a lot through this. Even just by looking how your editing styles changed or your compositional styles changed, I think you can take away a lot from it. But also, who knows what kind of hidden gems you'll be able to find, and with a bit of freshening up with your new editing capabilities, you could have rediscovered some really great images. I think passing of time has a huge factor in photography, and some photos that at the time you might have overlooked might have a lot more meaning now. So definitely go through those archives. And while you're at it, why not organise the filing system and also your physical archive of your negatives? There's just a lot of kind of housekeeping stuff that you could be doing, just so that when you are able to go back outside and take some nice photos, everything's kind of ready. So finally, I'd like to thank Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. If you're looking to build a website, maybe you want to purchase a domain, start a blog or an online store, you can do all of this and much more with Squarespace. Squarespace is a really amazing all-in-one platform for building websites, which you definitely don't need any prior experience doing so to get extremely professional-looking results. It's a perfect place to build a portfolio for your photography, and that's something that I would definitely recommend having. It's really important to have your work out there and displayed nicely for people to be able to find it, look at it, and hopefully commission you to do some work. And what's really great is, if you sign up using the code negative feedback, you can get 10% off your order. So, thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment if you have any ideas of videos you'd like to see which can be filmed inside. I'm building up a nice list to hopefully keep you entertained. See you in the next one.